everybody for being here today. My name is André Marquet. I'm the coordinator of Lisbon Challenge, that is most important accelerator program, and right now it's actually the only one we have running. Tourism Day at Microsoft. Let me just begin by starting to rephrase or restate what Caroline said about Microsoft once being a startup, right? If you think about Microsoft back in the early days, and for those of you that don't realize, these are actually the founders of Microsoft back in 1978. Every single company starts pretty much like this, right? You have visionary, you have the geek, in this case Bill Gates, Paul Allen, and a bunch of other people. None of them work at Microsoft anymore, including the founder. But you have a vision, you have technical qualities, and you do stuff. But the question is, would you have invested in this team? Maybe yes, maybe not, right? But this is what we do on every single day. We try to understand if people like this are investable or not. So think about it. Accelerator. So let me talk about what an accelerator is and what Lisbon Challenge does. So we are a 12-week intensive Lisbon-based startup accelerator, and we run 2 batches per year. We run a spring batch and a fall batch. So the spring class is still ongoing until July 26th, and then we have the fall edition starting September 26th, going all the way till the end of the year, pretty much. We accept only technological startups, including tourism technology, and early prototype to product, and it's a very international startup. So over 50% of the startups that actually enroll the program here in Lisbon come from several locations. So tech sectors that we are very eager to have are big data, social media, software as a service, and cloud, telcos, games, electronics and robotics, and of course tourism apps and smart energy. So what's the program look like? So in a nutshell, is we give 3 months of acceleration here in Lisbon. Then we do a 4 cities roadshow. So it's 2 cities now and 2 cities on full edition. So the roadshow will be London and Boston and San Francisco. And then in September, we're going to Tel Aviv in Israel, and on the fall edition, we're going to São Paulo, Brazil. We have a network of over 200 mentors and investors, people from Microsoft, the leading technology companies and industries. And we offer free office space in the Lisbon Center and over 100,000 euros in perks for startup, including Microsoft, BSpark, and others. So in terms of the process we use to help the teams during the 3 months phase here in Lisbon, we think about it as a Greek temple, right? They have survived for 2,000 euros, so we hope this is a fairly good structure to survive the 3 months acceleration we have. So we have 2 pillars, instructors and super mentors. And then we have the 200 guest mentors that are coming in all the time to speak with the teams, people from tourism, people from industry, people that actually know how to build a startup or have expertise in that specific industry. Then we have a team of in-house experts on UX, design, in cloud technology that can help you build your product. And of course, we have a team of 12 people always available to help the teams. And teams inside the temple, of course. So when the teams get to Lisbon Challenge, they're supposed to go from 1 to 9, or at least we hope so, or somewhere between 1 to 9 to 9. So we're actually very close to the end of the program now. The Lisbon Investor Summit is going to happen next week, Thursday and Friday. And by Friday, they should all be 9, which is validating metrics, eventually be investment ready. So before you are able to invest on a team, you actually have to have a team. So we have started the program back in May with a boot camp with a Portuguese Navy Marines, or ex-Portuguese Navy Marines, not Marines anymore, or at least most of them are not, to get the teams motivated and to understand how to work together, not only inside their own teams, but also with other teams in the program. We have also put lots of focus on helping teams develop their minimum viable product. This is really important, especially if you are a not so technological team struggling to build technological product. So to do that, of course, we have over 150,000 perks that we give the teams from Blue Star from Portugal Telecom to Microsoft vSpark to Twilio to Google, Amazon Web Services, etc. It's not like we just give Microsoft products, we allow you to choose, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So get to know the ecosystem. If we only stayed in our venue in the center of Lisbon, and we wouldn't come here to Microsoft and visit what Lisbon has to offer, then I think the teams would lose a lot of what the city has to offer in terms of technology, the incubators, the events, and investors, not only here in Portugal, but we only ask, for instance, we just had Pirates on Shore, they came from Germany to Portugal. Next Monday we're having a bunch of a big American delegation to come here to Portugal. So we're always trying to make Lisbon the center of the world, in a sense, for startup events. Validating the idea. Of course, you have to validate the idea, and to do that, we have the bread and butter of what an accelerator is, who is basically doing the whole mentorship process. So it's over 200 international investors. Just to give you an idea, we have had over 1,000 sessions so far with investors coming literally from all over the place. Productization. You really need to develop a product. If it's a tech company, if it is a software company, then we're going to give you the right conditions to develop software business. So we also have a demo day for you to show up your product after one month. Traction. The way we do this is by constantly monitoring your progress, but we also give you the mentorship and workshop. So far, on this edition, we have over 1,000 mentorship and workshops on everything, on lectures, on international business development, on startup law, on product management, on leadership and soft skills, and many, many more. Anything you can imagine useful to build a startup. Access to investment. So this is, big question everybody is asking about an accelerator is, yeah, that's all fun, but I really want some money to start building my company. So the way we do this is through the investor days, right? So we have 3 investor days. We have one investor day here in Lisbon, and we have one investor day in London, and we have an investor day in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. So next Friday, we're going to have the first investor day for the spring edition. We're bringing over 20 VCs for each day, so overall it's going to be like 40 VCs from all over Europe, so the best VCs from Index Ventures, VC1, VC Capital, etc. They're all coming here to basically listen to you, so you don't have to travel Europe to Paris, to London to meet with these guys all the time. They're coming here, and of course then when you go to London, you're also going to have the opportunity to meet them, and then in San Francisco. With local investors, of course. So working platform. So we have a venue in the center of Lisbon, which is great. The bad news is that we're actually going out of here next month. So we're actively looking for a new space to stay. And we're actually working really hard for this to happen. So hopefully good news to come. Cheap living. So I guess this goes a little bit towards the sense that, we have been looking to Lisbon only has a tourism perspective. But if you think about it, Lisbon is actually a very, very good city to start up a business. So we can actually say Lisbon is the bootstrap city of Europe because it's 3 times less expensive to build a startup in Lisbon and 4 times less expensive to build a startup in Porto than it is pretty much anywhere in a big major European capital. Lifestyle is also very important, so we have had our startup alumnus to go to surf schools, to go to kite schools. I know that Caroline is doing windsurfing here. She would have a big, hard time to do that when she was in Paris or something like that. Finding talent is obviously something that we also put some stress on. Just to give you an example, this guy's our alumni from last year in Praise. They were able to recruit their CTO because not only talent is actually a bargain here in Lisbon, but it's also very, very high quality. And they have also been accepted to Accelerator, so they're in Silicon Valley right now. And growth. So to do this, we try to imprint an international view to the startups from early beginning. It's not about Lisbon, it's not about Portugal, it's not even about Europe. It's about understanding which markets you should address first. And for that, of course, the international roadshow plays a big part. Fast track to super accelerator. So we believe that starting the journey here in Lisbon is a good way to start. It doesn't necessarily has to end here or continue. You can just go to other super accelerators. So we had 7 startups being invested by Seed Camp, and actually Portugal has become the biggest investment round for Seed Camp in the last 3 years. And we had 3 startups from Lisbon Challenge to get into Y Combinator. So Impraise, Oranco, and Engabo, which is outstanding. And they were the very first Portuguese startups to get into Y Combinator ever. Applications. So again, this is not tourism, but it feels like it because we have applications from over 46 countries. This is just for the spring edition. Now, I was looking at the numbers because someone made me that question earlier on, and we just had like 38 countries for the fall, and it's not even close to be finished, so we expect to surpass this number for the fall edition. Actually, this was the spring numbers, but we just realized that Brazil is now #1 application country for the Lisbon Challenge, and then the second Portugal, and then the US and Spain, and the UK is still third one position as well. They were not all playing on the World Cup, but almost, so it has been funny to watch the games there. Some stats, so sectors, good news, bad news. The good news is that it's lots of technology, and when they say software as a service, this is a very broad spectrum, right? But only 11% of the spring edition class is actually proclaiming or stating has to be a tourism startup, which is 3 out of 29. Platforms, and I guess this is also relevant since we are here at Microsoft. So most of them are web, so the web really coming up, and I think this also couples with the Microsoft CEO vision right now of web really being the main platform. Then you have mobile, Microsoft Windows still relevant, but on a certain position. And then on standalone, actually Windows 8 is only the 3rd platform of choice. And I guess this reflects that most of the applications actually run on the web. So when you think about standalone, you're basically thinking about professional solutions that anyways would run on the web. And then we have also some hardware startups and others. In terms of the programming languages of choice, so it's basically the whole web stack, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and some Java there, PHP and Node.js, but of course C# and other languages are also used. Cloud providers, Amazon taking the lead, but Windows Azure is the second platform of choice. Of course, as we work along with Microsoft, these numbers are prone to change, and we're probably going to see some changes in the next edition. And of course, in terms of media integration, Facebook takes a huge lead in regards to others. Monthly view. So it has been huge fun to organize Lisbon Challenge, and it's also very, very stimulating to work with the teams, because building a team means that we are going to fancy places like Microsoft sometimes, and we sit in these colorful chairs and we have this wonderful coffee breaks. But sometimes we also go, and when we go out with the Marines, we really have to lower ourselves to eat. And sometimes it's really hard. These guys really feel like they're, killing their brains to understand the programming problems they have to solve. And sometimes it also feels like family because we really try to open the program so friends can also come along. It's actually his wife. Sometimes I'm kind of harsh with the teams, but it has to be, especially because you better be, faced with harsh realities during the Accelerator program because investors and real life is much, much harder. But sometimes we really help each other. They really help each other, literally. Sometimes you have to work as a team on Accelerator program, not only with your team, but with other teams. But sometimes it's going to feel alone because you have to decide for yourself. To the CEO, you have to pivot, you have to change your strategy. You're kind of lost. Sometimes you're tired, you want to stop, you cannot go anymore. Not just physically, but also psychologically. But sometimes we have huge fun, and sometimes we try to help, but we can't. Sorry, Louisa, I'm always showing up this photo, but I think this also reflects that intention is there, right? And sometimes you can really make the difference. Okay. And sometimes the story is not pretty. So actually, one of these two guys, the Joel, had a car accident 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, so he had to stay in hospital for almost 2 weeks. But he's back and is already working with his co-founder, and that's it. That's life. Because they'll cross the bridge. They're building together, and if they want to go further, they really have to expect to do it. So. If you want to consider applying, applications are still running until almost the end of the month, so it's July 20th. And I think this is a great opportunity for any technology-based tourism or other sector startup. So welcome to